Hi, I'm in East London at Tenby. I'm with Babes, flower child of East London. We're going to be talking more about her influence in peace. Hello, Babes.
Hi Bongs, how you doing?
Good, good, good. Thank you. Flowers. Why flowers and peace?
Flowers and peace, and first of all, before I answer your question, peace to South Africa and stay cool, baby. I love you all. Bongi, flowers started in the 60s. President Richard Nixon, the then president of the United States of America, declared war against Vietnam. And we are peace-loving people. We are people who believe in making love and not war. We are people who believe in not hating, not disliking your brother and your sister, but irrespective of who you are, what you are, to love unconditionally. And what we did on hearing President Nixon's declaration of war against Vietnam was we acted immediately by choosing flowers which are peace-loving things. Whenever you see any kind of flower anywhere in the world, we immediately related the flowers to peace. We used the flower as a peace symbol. And so what we did was we put bands around our head and we decorated our hair with flowers, and we wore psychedelic clothing. We wore flowers in various places. We wore jeans with little flowers sewn into it. And we went to protest to the President of America by lifting up our fingers, the peace symbol, and saying, please do not make war.
I know that Babes is a hippie. And in Scotland, are there any hippies that are like Babes, or they're different from Babes in terms of the costume, how they talk, and the perception of peace in general?
Back in the 60s and the 70s, where I was brought up overseas, there was a hippie colony. It was at the time of the war in Vietnam and everything, and a lot of people decided to just opt out. They were sick and tired of war, and they used to ban the bomb signs around their neck and walk about with flowers in their hair and their children, and they lived on their own, almost like gypsies. But they decided they weren't going to have anything to do with war, and they were flower children, very much like what she's like today. When everything was doom and gloom, there was this happy band of people that used to just go about singing, minding their own business, just totally opting out of society, not doing any harm to anybody, just living their own lives. And she does that. She lives her own life. As you're driving along in your car, you could be having a really miserable day, and then you see her coming along, waving the flowers, and she's just such a nice person. You know, you really have to admire her for taking a stand and just not wanting to be involved in any violence and everything.
We wanted to infiltrate the world with peace and love. Eventually, sadly, the hippie era died out. But I still advocate peace in my city. Hi there, I'm sitting right here along the beachfront, and oh, it's a beautiful day. But you know, people say to me, why do you carry flowers in your hand? Do you sell them? Do you give them away? I tell them I'm a flower child, but they ask me, what am I representing in my city? I said, what I'm representing, not so much in my city, but my country and world, is peace. And I've gone on to tell them that God sent his son Jesus to die on the cross for every one of us, and only he brings peace. But when I give people flowers, I say to them, I love you. This is given to you by me because of love and peace. But when you look at the multiplicity of colors I have within my hand here, I carry this around mainly to show the nation that all of these colors represent our rainbow nation. God sent his son Christ to die for everyone, no matter who and where we are.
Hi, Ines. Tell us more about your first encounter with Babes Marcus when she came in and looked for an accommodation at your place.
Well, about 2 years ago, Babes came to Tembe looking for accommodation, and I had seen her before in the streets with her flowers, and we didn't hesitate to take her. We all have our quirks, don't we? So she came in and she has proved to have been a wonderful tenant.
Well, around East London, I've seen and I've heard people calling her crazy. Didn't you think that she was crazy with all these crowns of the flowers on her head?
Well, I did think she was crazy, to be quite honest, but now that I know her a little better, I can see that there's a lovely, lovely person behind the flowers. She's a gentle, loving, peace-loving person.
What makes you keep going every day and spread the word peace and shout the word peace around the community of East London?
I have a realistic goal. There are so many other people out there who I've never met, whom I've never spoken to, and have never spoken to me. And I know that when I go out the next day, I have a new goal in not only a new suburb to visit, but new flowers to pick, new flowers to see, new people to meet, new people to bring smiles to and laughter to.
I think that there is so little peace that it's wonderful to see someone who gives up all her time and her energy to advocate peace. We need it desperately, and she brings laughs to people's faces, and she brings joy wherever she goes. So I think in that way she's doing a wonderful job.
Where do you get your flowers?
I get my flowers from Walter's Florist in the Southernwood area. I do pinch a few flowers periodically from different homes, but I am very blessed to receive flowers on donation.
I hear that you are the big sponsors of the flowers to Babes in support of her idea of peace around the world. Why do you support her?
The thing is, of course, she's often in here and she loves getting the fresh flowers from Walter's.
And what's the point of supporting her instead of supporting even other people or other organizations? Why specifically her? Is it because you know her way back, or is she one of your big friends, or do you really feel the idea that it should be supported in order for it to work?
Yes, it's just, I mean, I know her from way back and because she loves flowers, and I think that's why she's always in here and we're giving her the flowers.
Do you think your efforts of spreading word peace in the community is being respected at all?
Absolutely. I've had many people who have come to me and they've said something like, Babes, if only the flower power era were back, it would be in the 21st century. We would be living in a far better environment today. Now, I don't really believe they're talking about the free sex and the free love and the free drugs. I don't believe they're talking about that, and of course you can't blame them for that at all. But they are actually referring to the love that was spread among the people of the 60s. And I believe that if people put flowers in their hair, and if people went around and said to people, I love you, peace, and we embraced one another, it would make a total difference. It would bring back the 60s from that point of view, that love can still be here with us now in the 21st century as it was in the 60s.
Linda, I understand that Babes is one of your clients, and at some point she came down and had a change of look, removing all the flowers around her head. Tell us about the experience of taking all those flowers and changing the whole style.
Okay, she decided, I think it was somebody who had a strong influence in her life and decided it wasn't the way to live anymore, and she must get rid of the flowers and act normal. So she came in with a dress on, and I didn't recognize her at all. She had a dress on and high heel shoes and stockings. And because she'd been wearing the flowers in her hair for years, her hair was quite matted, so we had to actually cut the knots out of her hair. And I had to cut her hair very, very short. And the hairstyle actually looked fantastic, but it just didn't suit her at all. She looked so much better with the flowers. And it wasn't long, about a month later, she went back and put all the flowers back in, and we were so happy because that's the person that we actually know and love.
I hear that you are a musician. What kind of music do you sing.
First of all, I want to say, if I may, peace to Rodney Dra. How Rod, peace baby. Rodney Dra was the first man who taught me, or the only man who taught me to play the back. Now the back is the guitar in your language, Bongs. The back in the hippie language is the back. And Rod and I, we used to jam when we were 18 apiece. And he taught me, and I just discovered, hey, this is cool. I love music so much. And we met on a regular basis to jam, and I learned all of the keys. And I decided that I would write my own music. And I started writing my music more or less about 6 months after I learned the back, yeah.
I do not give you a single but double piece. Yeah, I do not.
Have you released, recorded, and performed live in any other places in Islam?
In the early 60s, I had a group called The Precious Few. There were 3 of us. And we jammed at a few minor places. Unfortunately, the group itself never got off the ground, notwithstanding the fact that we had managed to cut 2 records, all our own music. In those days, there were 7 singles along playing records, not like the modern stuff you got today, which is cool. So we wrote all our own stuff. We made our first record in King Recording Studios, which was in King Williamstown at the time. They sold quite a few. We became a little bit popular, and then we continued to jam and practice, and then we made a long playing record with all of our stuff. In fact, all of them. So we didn't make many. Yeah.
All right. So are you still singing, a musician?
Look, let me put it this way. I'm not a singer, I'm not a good back player, I'm not a good songwriter. I do my own little thing and believe in my own heart and soul. Hey, cool, this is cool for my own self. But seeing that I love music so much, I'm still at it today, and I've never let it drop. I play the back, I'm 60 years old today. I play the back like I played it when I was 20.
Wow.
And I hope that I will be able to make my 5th CD, hopefully soon. I have 4 CDs out, all Christian music, and I have 14 brand new cuts, so all going well. We're looking forward to number 5. During the 60s, there was a song called Where've All the Flowers Gone, which Rod Dra and I used to play when I was very young. And this is how it goes.
Where have all the flowers gone? Long time passing. Where have all the flowers gone? Long time ago. Where have all the flowers gone? Young men pick them, every one. When will they ever learn? When will they ever learn?
What would you like to say to the people out there in East London and the rest of South Africa and the world with respect to peace?
I would love to say to them that if we find peace in Christ above all, and we follow His way, there is no doubt whatsoever that if we do what He says, we will love Him first and foremost, and then by loving Him, there is no way we cannot love our brother and our sister.
Babes, tell us the secret with respect to your age, your body, and your happiness inside you.
Baby, let me tell you, I've always believed in 5 things. I walk a lot. When I say I walk a lot, sometimes the minimum of 5Ks, sometimes 10Ks. So I walk a lot every day. And then I have 8 of these babies a day. Water, H2O, babe. 4 in the morning and 4 in the afternoon. I eat well, I sleep well, and I just try and make every second of every day and night count. I am a free spirit. My name is Babes. I'm the flower child of East London. I just want to say to you, I think that you're Oh, beautiful people, I just love you so very much, and I'm expressing myself, as I say this to you, everyone in the Republic of South Africa, Jesus loves you.
Okay, if I were to trade in your floral crown with a golden crown, which one would you take? Would you give me your floral ones?
I'd never give you my floral ones, baby.
Why not?
If I were given a golden crown with all of the most precious stones in it, I would take it off my head. I wouldn't even put it on my head. I'd put it on your head. But I just always wear a crown of flowers.
Why?
Because flowers to me are one of the most beautiful things that I've ever seen. And do you know that when I actually walk, and I take in all the beautiful things God has created, which He is created beautifully, one of the most beautiful things are flowers.
What would you do if I were to give you 10 hectares of a farm that has roses in it? What would you do with those roses?
I would love to keep growing and growing and growing and growing the roses, so that as they come to fruition, I would cut them all down and keep replanting, and I'd love to take every one of those roses and go throughout the whole of my city, the whole of the country, the whole of the world, giving every girl, woman, boy and man a rose and saying, I love you and peace to you.
What would you like to do in the next, let's say, 2 years, 5 years, if you'd be still alive?
I have no hesitation in saying to you that I would really love my music to get off the ground. I would love to tour the country. I'd love to see Namaqualand, and I've got to see Namaqualand before I die, because that place, babe, is a piece of magic. Come home. So if I can just sit in among those beauties and admire them and put them all in my head, can you imagine how top heavy I'd be? And just take it all in. But I'd also love to go around, and I'd love to share my message with schools, hospitals, old age homes, churches, my message of love and peace. I would really love to do that very much. I'd love to meet many people. I would love to hug people. You know, when I walk in the street, I don't care what anybody says. When I meet the prostitutes out there, I go up to them and I put my arms around them, and they put their arms around me. And I love them, and I tell them I love them. When I meet the drug addicts, when I meet the hobos, when I meet the homeless, when I meet the downtrodden, even those who are rich, even those who have made it, I go to them. And people come to me in the complexes, and kids want photographs taken. People want to touch me. And do you know that I am the one at the end of the day who gets the bigger blessing, although I'm sure that they do too, when I have reciprocated to their hugs, to their greetings, to their smiles. I'd like to believe that I make somebody's day. A lot of people come to me and they say, every time I see you, you make my day. And I do not take any credit for myself. I give it to God. And I get home and I feel so uplifted, and coming back to and reiterating a question that you answered earlier on, I feel so good. And when I get to bed at night, I know that I have another realistic goal for the next day, especially when it incorporates people I can love.
How do you plan your day?
What I try and do is, and of course it isn't always easy, but I try and step out on what I call my long walks, Monday, Wednesday, and either Friday or Saturday, where I will leave room 408 Tenby, and I will choose a suburb, for example, West Bank or the airport, and I will go there and I will meet a lot of people, and I'd come back, and then the following day, if it's say Tuesday, I won't do a solitary thing. I will get up, I'll shower, I'll have my breakfast, I'll close my door, I'll lock my door, And it's not that I do not want to see or hear from anyone, it is because Babe's time is Babe's time. I'm an avid reader. I do not read fiction. I read biographies and autobiographies. I've got so many books I'm reading at the same time, it's unreal. I love playing chess.
Wow.
I love playing the buck. I am writing my book at the moment, Woman of a Rare Species, which I hope will be published in at least 2 years' time, where I start off with my birth up till the present time. So there is a lot that I would love to do, and a lot I do on my day off, even though I am alone. I'll sleep, I'll rest, I'll read, and I'll just potter around sometimes.
Your favorite track in your new album?
I would say, look, I love all of my music. For myself personally, I believe every song is special. It takes a lot to write a song. A song can come to you in a matter of 2 minutes. You can have everything in 2 minutes. You can have the words, you can have the introduction, the chorus, the verses, the ending. You can have all of your keys. You can have everything which comprises your song. But with me personally, it goes deeper than that, because you are not singing for yourself, you are singing for your nation. And you've got to choose what you want to sing to your nation. Is it going to be something that is going to uplift your nation or put your nation down? But in spite of the fact that I love all of my latest 14 cuts, I would say that the song Alive pips them, because it portrays the person I am, being alive. That's who I am, babe.
Peace.
Peace, baby.
This for me.